Probably good.
Yo, 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 what's good, world? It's your boy Rob, Gio, Andy. Talk, real views, coming through with another episode. I believe episode 32, right, Andy? Episode 32.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Today we're gonna be talking about the fear of success. Because I've noticed, cause me and my wife are pulling some stunts right now that when you finally have the money to invest in that risk in something that you believe in, it gets scary, it gets real, and you're just like, damn, now it's actually happening, and you're so scared not because you're about to do something new, but you're so scared in the result of doing something new, the
So did
result that
also
could possibly be. What
Yeah.
you said, Joe?
No, keep
what,
going.
what just happened? All right, go ahead. Never mind. Just go ahead. I'm pissed.
Oh my
Never
God.
mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh
Continue,
man.
brother.
But yeah, like the fear of starting something new, the fear of getting a reward for starting something new, the financial gains of it. Like your life can literally change, and you're not going to be in that same position that you are financially, and you could actually help your family. Now you have to live up to standards because financially your life is changing. You know what I'm saying, Andy? It's scary. It's scary. It's so easy to just be in that comfortable spot where you just work a little 9 to 5, get your guaranteed money, and go home. But when you want a lifestyle with money, you gotta take that into your own hands, man. Like it ain't no I clock in and I'm gonna make a certain amount of money to sustain this lifestyle. No, you gotta be responsible for it, man. And so, me and my wife, we starting dispatching trucking business. We're gonna be dispatching and trucking. We're gonna do both.
That's what I'm talking about.
Scary, but we about to do it. Yeah, man, we're about to do it. Done talking about things. It's just time to just take the action, because the more action you take, you slowly notice that your life starts changing, especially financially, and that's the goal. But you also want to be a good human being. So yeah, Andy, I wanted you to touch on this, man, because you're doing a lot. You are now recording your content. You're also personal training. You also got classes. You're also in college taking your own classes, and you're about to get married. Yeah, man.
Really? Yeah, go
Ace
ahead, go ahead.
Spitz. Yeah, Ace Spitz. For everybody to know out there, we gonna keep promoting the brand. Ace Spitz, man. But yo, Andy, how doesn't it scare you one day all these things that you're pushing towards to gain, that one day it's all going to happen? Doesn't that scare you? Responsible
Um,
for a lot.
oh man, I think that's the big part of it. It's the unknown and the fear of taking on that responsibility and achieving all those things that you set out to achieve. And I think the big part of it is and looking at fear, I feel like fear is really huge when it comes to like the unknown. When I do
Mm-hmm.
get achieve all these things, from getting married, getting my degree, expanding my business, it's like, okay, what next? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it that far, and so that's why a lot of people would be fearful of success. But I think a lot of the times is that um, I don't necessarily try to focus too much on the destination. I think that's the issue. I feel like people see where they are right now. They see the person that they are right now, thinking the way that they think, and
Mm-hmm.
they can't fathom they can't really fathom how they how they currently are to when they actually get to where they want to get to. Does that make sense? I know
Right.
might
Uh-huh.
sound a little off because it's you're not gonna get there based off the things that you're doing right now. There's certain things there's certain ways that you have to change your life, certain habits that you have to kind of critique in order for you to get to your goal. And by the time you get there, you're not necessarily the same person. So once upon
Right.
a time, like it was one of those things where I really had to realize that because I was just like you, man, I was scared of success because I didn't know how the current me would handle it. But then I had to realize, yo, I'm not gonna be this me that's gonna be successful. Because if I was, I would already be successful right now. So it's like you would hear a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like millionaires, A lot of them say it's like, yo, I was a millionaire before I had millions. You already had the habits, the mindset. You was moving in accordance to a millionaire, and then long story short, that's when they finally
Uh-huh.
get their millions. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I really pretty much approach it, man. I realize I don't focus so much on the destination. It's more so for me just the journey of it all and making sure that I'm growing each and every single day. Yeah.
Oh, I got you, man. You right about that, man. It's crazy. I didn't even know that you were there. My vision about all the things that me and my wife said we want to do. We want to have laundry mats. You know what I mean? Properties. Like I'm like, yo, this is a lot. But you're right. Process, because it's fun. You're right. The process is fun. You're putting yourself out there. You're doing all this stuff that's uncomfortable that one day will be comfortable, and then you got to find the next challenge. Okay, what's uncomfortable again? Because that's
And
how the journey has some substance to it.
and,
Did you say
and
something, Joe? Oh,
no, no, no.
And
I just wanted to add something real quick. So
uh,
in terms of the process too, man, what you want to
mm-hmm.
do is you want to be able to make it bite sizable. So it's like, how do you eat a horse? How do you eat an
Uh-huh.
elephant? One bite at a time. I think a lot of times, you like how you were saying, you brought up the end goal. It's like, oh, I want to own the laundromat. I want to own all these properties. That in and of itself is very intimidating. But how about this? Okay, I want to be able to rent out one room in my house. More feasible.
Mm-hmm.
From that one room, from the
Uh-huh.
revenue I get from that one room, you build. So it's like, I think, and
hmm
the crazy thing is though, it's like a lot of times people see that, they see the end goal. It's like, how am I gonna get there? It's like, yo, just what can you do right now? You know what I'm saying? So I think when people do that,
Uh-huh.
it builds to their goals.
Right. Yeah, Andy. When I think about it from that perspective, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So Joe, man, walk me through it. Like, you want to be sports agent. You want to have your own sports agency, business. Also, possibly an accounting firm. And right now, you're a college student. You're working, and you are still, I think, making time to possibly write business plans down for all these things that you want to do. Tell me how you're handling it, and are you scared of the success you could possibly get in the accounting firm and in the sports agency? And how do you think your way will be of handling it when you do make
I think like how Andy said, it's the fear of just not knowing, right? Like
it? Mm-hmm.
not having a clue or an idea of where to go or who to talk to or where to start off at or how to even put it into play. Like, so, like, if you really think about it, because where we are in our society, not necessarily even saying as a black man, because even as a Spanish, Latino, Asian, coming from where we come from, there's not a lot of people that we know that have their own firms or their own businesses or their own agencies or their multi-million dollar complexes and duplexes and things of that nature. We have, if not the entry level to maybe possibly quote unquote mid-level tier type of people that we may know, right? Like, we don't
Mm-hmm.
know that many people that are on that multi-million dollar scale and doing huge six-figure numbers, right? Like, we don't have nobody in our family like that. So we can't go to them and they can give us a blueprint or at least give us some direction for us to go. So we're pretty much doing everything that we're doing it on the fly. We're trying to figure out ways to do this and implement this and put this into play. While doing that, we're also trying to figure out ourselves. So if you go into a business or meet with someone that has that kind of level of intelligence and is making, a great deal of money or whatever, and you sit down and talk with him or her, you gotta come and approach them like, quote unquote, like everyone says, be yourself. Let's be real. You're not gonna really be yourself. You're gonna try your best to impress that person in order for them to help your dream goal. because at the end of the day, this might be your one shot, one opportunity. So you don't want to fail that. You really don't. Like, so you really want to make sure, like,
Nah.
you're doing everything you possibly can, but staying as humble and as genuine as you possibly can as well in that process. So for me, I met I think I told you this, Rob. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely this. But the job I work at, I work for the city of Tallahassee. I'm pretty sure everybody kind of probably knows at this point. And when I was out there, I met one of the executives for the city of Tallahassee accounting accounting budget. Like, he does the budget for the city of Tallahassee. And I met down with him. I'm talking to him. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was. I was just sitting down talking football, talking basketball, just talking about sports. And luckily for me, like, like I'm just talking about basketball and sports, and that's my thing. That's who I am, right? And then then he talked about budgeting and different things like that, and other parts of how we need to learn to save and use savings, and learning to make investments and different things like that. Like, he was saying that, and I was piggybacking off what he was saying, and I was talking to him about not reiterating what he says, but coming up with solutions. Like, yeah, we need to come up with saving plans. Yeah, we need to implement this within school, with the education reform that comes into play when these presidents or these these hierarchy people in the local government do these things. Like, we need to put these into for schools, so these kids could understand budgeting and saving and how to make investments. And I was talking to him about things like that. He was like, "Man, you got a pretty insightful mind." I said, "Man, I'm just trying to think for the future, because if you really think about it, like, I come from," and I was telling him about my background. I was like, "Yeah, I come from this kind of neighborhood and this type of thing." And you could go out right now and you could tell somebody, "Yo, do a spreadsheet." They don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they're gonna know it's Excel, but do a spreadsheet for me. Budget something. Use the spreadsheet to do all the math and things like that. They don't know how to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know how to do that. I didn't learn how to do that until I got to college. And if you look at some of these other kids, like, that were in my class, like, not trying to be on that race card, but it's so true at this point. Like, I asked all my white friends that were at St. Leo, man, they talk about they did this in middle school.
Wow.
So you understand the advantages that they have. Like,
They're way ahead of
man,
us.
they're way ahead of us.
Way ahead of us.
They talking about, man, I already did this in middle school. What? Middle school?
What? Wow.
Are you advanced or something? Nah, we in the same entry-level class. He has to take this because it's mandatory. That's the only reason why he was in that class. So it's just like, yo, like,
That's fucking crazy.
So it's just like, yo, when you see things like that, and I'm going back to the topic of the executive that was with the city of Tallahassee, the accounting executive. He was talking to me. He was like, yeah. So he gave me his business card, and he said, "I know you work with the city, and I know that you want to be an accountant, and you don't know what part." And you were talking to me about because I was talking to him about being a sports agent and also wanting to do an accounting firm. But he says, "Listen, if you need an internship or anything like that, I'll be more than happy to have you working under me, and you can see these things, and that'll be a huge thing." So I got him as far as when it comes to internship, when I'm done with school, like when I'm getting close to that point.
Look, man.
Yeah,
And you want to, yeah, and
you want to know how that was done? Making a simple connection.
Yeah, but that's called being yourself. But also, you gotta show that you actually care about what you're doing too. Like, you may want to.
You gotta show me prep. You study.
Yeah, I'm not really saying you study, but just showing more insight, being more insightful, digging deep. Even though you have that general knowledge, like that's just general. Everybody could say this. But coming up with a solution, like you said, like I remember, I think it was Andy or it was one of you two. I don't know. It was one of y'all. Y'all
Yeah.
said instead of like talking about the problem, come up with a solution. So that's what I can't like when he was talking to me. I said, let me be different. Instead of saying the same thing, probably 100 other people were talking about. I'm gonna give him a solution. And I gave him a couple of solutions. And but man, this in school and staying on top of things is hard, dog. It's not easy, man. It's hard. And as far as success, it's scary. It's hell.
No, it is. It really is.
What what the hell? Oh God.
Hold on. Success is scary. Success, it really is scary, but hold on.